Well, let's go to sport now with Darren Mara. And Darren, Geelong's still unbeaten.
That's right, yeah, they're playing some great football right now, Janice, and good evening to you. They've fended off a challenge from the Saints for a 38-point victory in Melbourne, while the Hawks have recorded their first win of the season with a big win against the Eagles at the MCG.
Low on form and confidence, the Hawks rallied in their opening quarter against West Coast.
Justin to cap it off, spirits high.
The Eagles delivering a dampener, closing the gap with clinical precision.
That's 3 goals each at the MCG.
But Luke Bruce on a one-man mission gave the Hawks the advantage into half-time.
He kicks another one for the Hawks, who are flying.
Meanwhile, unbeaten to round 5, it was business as usual for the Cats. Harry Taylor capping off a dream start.
4 in 5 minutes.
St Kilda's Darren Minchington spearheading the fight back.
He's kicked 3.
Ahead, but not far from danger.
Winds up on the left and kicks a ripper.
Selwood and Guthrie teaming up to have the last word as the Cats remain unscratched in 2017.
Finishes in style.
Last night, more misery for the winless Swans after a 42-point drubbing by GWS.
Green kicks it around the body and he's got 4.
Lance Franklin's milestone, a singular high point.
800 goals for the icon.
There's still a fair bit of footy to be played this year, and we need to make sure we get back off the canvas and get going again.
As has Fremantle, Shane Kirsten's hero moment in the final minute makes it 3 on the trot.
Kirsten kicks a goal and Fremantle are in front.
The Roos 0 for 5 for the first time in 45 years. Abby Dinham, SBS World News.
The West Tigers have ground out a morale-boosting win in a nail-biter against the Bulldogs in today's NRL clash. It all came down to a match-winning moment of improvisation.
The Ivan Cleary era was entering its 3rd game, but all the talk remains on the destination of his big names. Fullback James Tedesco reportedly fielding a huge offer from the Roosters to leave Concord for Bondi next season. But once the game against the Bulldogs began, Tedesco's mind was on setting up West's Tigers' opening try for David Nonfaluma.
And the Tigers are pretty pumped.
Parramatta-bound Mitch Moses slotted the sideline conversion for a 6-0 lead. The Dogs went wide before Marcelo Montoya scored his 4th of the season.
Goes to Morris, he gives it on a chance here for Montoya.
It remained tight as Tedesco came up just short of touching down. An earlier offside penalty allowed his side to take a 4-point lead into half-time. Canterbury hit back after Kerrod Holland scored. The try standing after a review showed he hadn't been held.
He reached out.
Branko Lee was sin-binned for holding back Chris Lawrence without the ball. That penalty tying up the scores. The West's Tigers had the extra man and the momentum. Luke Brooks dummied a field goal attempt before running and setting up Kevin Nagama for the match winner. A tough week ending happily for the club.
He cleans it up.
While 2 tries in the final 13 minutes by Vahu Palu steered the Gold Coast Titans to an upset 16-12 victory against the Sharks last night. It's just the Titans' 2nd win of the season and snaps Cronulla's 4-game winning streak. John Baldock, SBS World News.
Chelsea manager Antonio Conte has praised his understrength team after a pulsating FA Cup semi-final win over title rivals Tottenham. Conte left Eden Hazard and Diego Costa on the bench. Hazard's replacement, Willian, scored twice, while Nemanja Martić's pile driver was by far the goal of the match. Conte admitted afterwards his ploy was a gamble.
You have to take the risk, because if you win, the plan worked. If you don't win, the responsibility is yours. But I think that today our plan worked very well.
Arsenal and Manchester City meet tonight for the right to play Chelsea in next month's final. The battle to remain in the Premier League was the main focus overnight as a 10-man Hull downed Watford to climb out of the relegation zone. Sam Klukas ensuring the win with a superb dipping shot. Middlesbrough's hopes of avoiding the drop took a hit in a 4-0 thumping at Bournemouth. Borough is now 2nd from bottom, 7 points behind fellow strugglers Swansea. The Swans beat Stoke City and they now lie 3 points away from safety. Daria Gavrilova has prized her first win in Australian colours at the Fed Cup. The Russian-born dynamo rolled her Serbian opponent in straight sets, while Ash Barty also needed only 2 sets to pass Alexandra Krunic. Australia enjoy a two-match buffer heading into the reverse singles after Barty got Australia off to a perfect start. Gavrilova was never challenged and concealed the tie with victory over Krunic, a player she's failed to defeat on 3 previous occasions.
We know each other really well. We actually grew up together. She loves to fight. She's a great competitor. And yeah, I'm expecting a tough battle, but I'll try and give my best.
While an expletive-laden tirade has left Joanna Konta in tears in her singles playoff match against Romania, the home captain, Ilya Nastasi, directed his abuse at the umpire, Konta and the British team captain before being ejected from the stadium.
Is not something I'm going to repeat here because it's language that is not appropriate for anyone to speak to any other human in that particular way, and that's not what we've come here for.
Konta went on to win the match to level the tie at 1-1. Nastasi was escorted from the ground and his accreditation was cancelled. Rafael Nadal's quest for an unmatched 10th Monte Carlo Masters crown remains on course after he surged past David Goffin 6-3, 6-1. The straight sets romp wasn't without controversy though, with the chair umpire ruling a Nadal shot in that had clearly gone long. The call rankled the Belgian, who went on to lose 10 of the remaining 11 games to gift Nadal a finals berth.
After that, I finally find a way to create some damage on David, because at the beginning he was dominating. I felt that I have to add something else to have success on the match now, and I started to hit stronger, and I think that's worked very well.
The King of Clay will face Albert Ramos Vinolas in an all-Spanish final after the 15th seed bested local hope Lucas Pouy in 3 sets. Australian rugby's woes have continued after the Rebels played out a trialist draw in Durban. The Sharks' toothless attack was understandable given they played 60 minutes without a man after Andre Esterhuizen was shown a straight red card. In a dull affair, 3 penalties from the boot of Wallabies winger Reece Hodge helped the Rebels split the points on the buzzer. While the Force fared even worse. Despite having the lion's share of possession, the Westerners could only manage 1 try to Matt Hodgson. The hosts' poor handling and ill discipline punished by Aaron Cruden to ensure a winless round for all Australian teams. Jazz Mostert has won his first supercars race in 2 years. He's beaten fellow Falcon driver Mark Winterbottom to the checkered flag at Phillip Island. Today's race once again plagued by tyre blowouts. Red Bull pair Jamie Whincup and Shane van Gisbergen amongst those affected. And finally in sport, riders at the Tour of Croatia have held a minute's silence in memory of cyclist Michele Scarpone. The Italian died after being hit by a truck while training close to his home in central Italy yesterday. Scarpone was a veteran of the Giro d'Italia, most notably claiming overall honours in 2011. A sad way to end the day in sport, Jess.
Yeah, indeed, sad news indeed. Thank you, Darren. Well, coming up, the weather details and a contest to cook the world's best paella heats up.